Welcome back to the Caster Desk, and we're going to continue things now over to the Smite Console League, which at the moment is in a bit of a lull, so we've got a bit of a show match for you today between the top two teams in North America, Eager versus Erry Day Carry. These two teams have pretty much got to the finals multiple times in the Console League. However, this is a bit of a special one to see how they're going to perform. How Eager do not have a full roster this week, though.
Not at all, but we do still have some notable names coming into the team. We have Elchapo, Weekend on the one specific roster, and Eager still having Air Cougar.
For sure, I'm not sure if Air Cougar's playing today. We'll find out when we get into it, because all I've heard so far is that they had 3 substitutes for this, so we'll see exactly what they choose to go with here. Both these teams, Eager's pretty much had the number of Erry Day Carry so far this season. We'll see, though, with them having multiple members replaced for this special show match, whether Erry Day Carry can actually find some wins here. Elchapo, one of the aggressive solo laners that's going over there, likes to go like things like Transcendence on tier and look for big plays early on.
It's not a bad idea to go Transcendence on tier or any warrior, as long as you can find ways to bully the enemy solo laner and just rotate as a result.
That's exactly what Elchapo does best as well, with Weekend in the jungle, combines nicely. Khepri taken off the table by Erry Day Carry. They don't want to deal with the ridiculous amount of, not sustain, but revivability, as well as damage reduction that Khepri brings.
And it doesn't matter if you're in the PC or the Xbox, Khepri is always worth banning first. The resurrection giving a secondary life to anybody on your team, especially if somebody decides to go for Kali, for example.
It also makes it like almost a 6v5 straight away, but even not. You hang around waiting to kill the person after the revive goes on cooldown. We saw that a bit in the Pro League today, but prime example, Kuang, someone with fantastic sustain, great initiation, good control in both the support and the solo lane.
Cavalry charge, very annoying to deal with, especially if you're skilled enough to land all 6 hits of the cavalry charge. That's a lot of damage that teams take for granted. Some players will elect to use Guanyu's ultimate just for the stun real quick. Others will go for the damage. Odin being banned away from Eager.
Feels like a very support-orientated ban phase this coming out here, totally. Geb, Khepri, Guan, Odin all have been called, at least the 2 warriors as well, have been put into that support role multiple times.
And it's not a bad idea to put warriors in support because you have the ability to clear the way faster than Guardians. Odin, Bird Bomb being able to clear right away. Erry Day Carry going for the first pick out. Kuang, Eager responding with Chronos and Athena.
And Elchapo will get his tier once more. Not a big surprise to see him go back to that. They'll also lock that in Zeus alongside it, so there's a lot of damage on that comp already for Erry Day Carry. However, Eager, with that Athena, a little bit more control to begin with.
We saw Thor running the Kuang Zeus. Maybe Erry Day Carry was looking at that. It's like, hey, that does a lot of damage, so let's run that as well.
It works out. We'll see if we can repeat it. Awilix in the jungle here for Team Eager as well. No real knockups to speak of right now. None of the gods in the game really have any knockup or escape that involves a leap so far, but the mobility is still very useful.
The mobility is good. The damage is good as well. Whenever you start off Red Pot onto the Awilix, you're able to do the mid harpies right away, which puts your soul lane in a good position. Whenever you do mids to blue, you're clearing it so quickly, and when you get to the soul lane at level 2, you're able to make a bully play against a tier, get the imps, get level 3, and keep snowballing it potentially.
So we'll see how that works out, because Awilix, obviously, with Power Part, the level 2 damage is very, very strong. Neath taken off the table alongside Apollo and Sol, so all the focus of attention switches to Hunters in the second ban phase there. Other than Raven, clearly Erry Day Carry do not want to have to deal with that in the solo lane.
And there's a lot of potential Hunters that you can pair up with Athena, but it looks like Nox is going to go into the mid lane, and it's going to be Chronos in the Hunter position for Eager.
It does come across that way, especially Awilix and Nox combining together have a lot of burst damage. Obviously, the silence from Nox into the root cripple, which will allow Awilix to get in them with a feather step and keep them in place even longer, would allow for that damage to go off from the Nox silence.
Imagine Awilix Nox clearing a mid Harpy camp and then going inside the Awilix's Nox, jumping over the wall for a surprise sneak attack.
Didn't even think about the Shadow Step combining with Awilix for the mobility of Suku to get around until you just mentioned it then. So, interesting factor there. Now with a Thor combined with that too, this looks like it will be Awilix in the solo lane here, and Thor will be the jungler. And Thor, Nox combining together is a dangerous threat in that mid lane.
It could also be Thor in the solo lane. There have been times where Cyclone Spin has run it. I've run it specifically as well in ranked, and I love the matchup against tier earlier on. If you go Red Pot Thor, you do a lot of damage. But it does look like it's going to be Chronos in the solo lane.
It could be. We'll find out as this one goes on, because that means Awilix will be in the AD carry role. And talking about that, he has gone throwing dagger, so that would instigate that maybe that is the case with the Athena. Feather Step combining nicely with a taunt could be a lot of burst damage available for Team Eager. Now let's just go for the Eager roster, because they've got a few replacements here. No Air Cougar, as you can see, it's only Jellly and Dwurst returning this week. They've got Toasty, Freakster Dave, and QuickIAinIFair in the
He's
Hunter.
not fair, apparently, for Eager. And Elevate has their full roster. They have Elchapo. We all know and love Weaken, Aggro, Zachsy, and El Brochacho.
It's a nice little roster from Erry Day Carry here. I expect them, with these replacements from Eager here, to probably run away with this one a little bit, but we'll see what the boys of Eager can put on at the start of this game. Builds coming out from the teams. I'm just checking in here. It looks like we've got a power pot start there on Aggro. Is that correct? It seems that way. No, I'm lying. He's actually got the Legion Ham, so it won't be that. However, both junglers do have power potions.
And that's very important to note. You want to be able to do the mid-harpies and fight for them as well whenever you can. Favoring the Thor a little bit, you do have the longer range on the Thor than the Kuang, so Kuang has to be more patient, whereas the Thor can just set up his mid laner. And whenever you have Nox paired up with Thor, that's a lot of burst damage following up.
Now, as well in the solo lane here, we've got Elchapo on the tier, going Transcendence at the start of the game immediately. No sustain really coming out here. We'll have 3 of each potion. But the problem is he's going to be against a Chronos here. Now, Chronos is known to have a good matchup versus Tyr.
There are 2 options you could do as Tyr, where you just completely ignore him and go pure damage, in which case Chapu is doing. Or you could try to stay in laning phase, try to trade and box with him, and go magic defense. In this situation, the Tyr doesn't care about trying to trade. He wants to clear the wave, heal off of it, because he knows he's going to take some return damage once he goes in, and then look for the aggressive rotation. Keeping his mana topped off is very important.
We'll talk about rotation already. Elchapo clears the wave the first time, goes into the jungle, takes the fire imps immediately to get himself a nice level 3. Meanwhile, his lane opposition Dwurst will hit 3 off this wave, but it will give it a bit of an advantage for Chapo early.
Yeah, and this is going to put Chapo ahead, hitting level 4 first, hitting level 5 first, especially if he can clear a wave and then steal the enemy board on top of it.
2 translators on the side of Erry Day Carry as well, as between him and Medusa. There's Zachsy building that on the Medusa. Not a big surprise to see, but against the Awilix is going to be an interesting one to see how this lane phase will work out. For the most part, I'm expecting we'll see the boys of Eager play this very far back in the early stages, and Awilix will be able to 1v1 a Medusa later on if things go well.
And there's really good setup between the Khumbakarna and the Medusa. If you catch somebody in Sleepy Yawn, and then the Medusa ulti comes out, as you're facing them, that's going to be a 1.5 second stun that you're going to have to worry about, especially if it's on the Athena, who doesn't have purification, only having the sprint.
And not only that, like, if you get hit by the uppercut, the epic uppercut into maybe an acid spray or the petrify or even both, it's a lot of burst damage. Even if it's not going to be the CC from the petrify that comes out, still going to be a heavy amount of damage to have to deal with, and Awilix could suffer because of that.
And the slow is going to be enough to potentially chase and lock down the kill. You also have the root to follow up off of the Khumbakarna.
Well, Jelly's having to do a lot of work in this lane to keep it relatively in the middle of the lane, so there's no real invasion coming out from Erry Day Carry yet. However, with that presence, they could have potentially looked for the balls on the left-hand side, but chose their own side instead.
See, the problem was they didn't have the mid-lane pressure. Contested, it's a good idea to try to invade it, but not if you don't have the mid lane pressure. They had no vision of where Eager's middle jungle were, so they respected that. They just got their own their back fours, and then reset back to the lane.
So you're surprised by both the solo laners holding on to getting a relic at the beginning of the game, just hoping that they can survive this and not need to get the teleport?
It's interesting to see Chronos not elect to do that. Having purification against the Tyr and the Kuang can get you out of danger. It's very easy to get caught in a fearless combo doing damage. Epic uppercut onto the Thor, just going to take about 50% of his health.
Got caught, but there was just no follow-up. Taunt does land onto Medusa, but round the back now. It's a little bit of pressure from Weaken. The blink from Brochacho was good. The disengage was better from Toasty.
Perfect hammer away, recognizing that the aggression was coming out of Erry Day Carry. Now, they're going to take advantage of the fact that Thor backed and steal the red.
So keeping the pressure on the map, Erry Day Carry just looking for an advantage more than anything in the jungle. It was initiation from them originally with the Khumbakarna and then follow up onto Thor again. Yeah, they didn't find the kill, but they found what they came for, which is just small little advantages early on.
And this is what Weaken likes to do. Coming from the PC League, he loves to play aggressive into the enemy's jungle, as we do have Awilix taking a lot of damage.
And there's the Petrify coming out. One more hit will be enough. Zachsy, though, catches the wall with that final shot. And full credit to the way that was actually played as well by Awilix, because the Feather Step there allowed him to avoid some damage that would have spelt certain death.
What was the most important factor for the survival of the Awilix was using the purification during the Medusa ult didn't allow Awilix to get slowed. The final in-hand from the Medusa was just out of range. Had Awilix gotten slowed there, she would have been enraged for that in-hand, and that would have been first blood.
So early on, it's about 400 gold lead roughly for Erry Day Carry at the moment, thanks to the invasion that came out a little bit earlier on, and the dominance of Elchapo early on over in the solo lane. We can see the gold difference between the two actually is in favor of Chronos, which I'm surprised at. Erry Day Carry do have the lead.
I'm really surprised that Weekend is not looking at this Chronos. Hey, Chronos has no beats? What? I'm out Kuang. I have a dragon.
And I've got a tier with me in this lane.
With
That can look for the
Fearless?
pressure. Talking about tier a little bit more, did just buy teleport actually, and teleported to, is that teleport? Yeah, he just teleported to a tier 2 tower, did Elchapo not to give the game away, but now that's going to be on cooldown. Meanwhile, the purification we were talking about has now been picked up by Dwurst. He feels comfortable that he's not going to need teleport to be forced out of lane.
Yeah, you do have the accelerate, so you don't have to worry too much about getting to lane. Right now, he built the Dynasty Plate helmet, trying to get the physical defense online earlier on, also getting a little bit of penetration, trying to bully out the tier earlier on that doesn't have the defense that he needs to box. However, his sustain is good enough. Weekend looking to play aggressive.
Still looking around the red buff area once again. The aggression comes out, and you saw Weekend actually did steal that red buff away on the left-hand side one more time. Advantage to Erry Day Carry on that small invade.
Now, Weekend does have the red buff, but now he's kind of neglecting his mid laner. Their red buff is up. They need to be able to clear this middle lane and reset, give Zeus their own red buff, and look to potentially make an aggressive play. Maybe they're going to hold off of that red buff, so that way when the next rebuff is responding for Eager, they're going to have Zeus with it to do more damage during that team fight.
Not seeing too much out of this Nox at the moment by Freakster Dave. Yeah, in the early game, a little bit lacking in wave clear. It's very hard to confirm your damage, but if you can find that root silence combo just once, I think alongside Toasty, they should be able to find themselves a kill. We'll see if they end up combining eventually for that as the solo laners trading out on Chapo. Gets poked. Uses a health potion, and obviously with a power cleave, he should be able to heal himself back up.
Exactly. That one power cleave already topping him off. However, he did get hit by the time rift after the heal, so he has to watch out as he does look for a potential rotate. He doesn't have the timer of the board, but now that he puts himself in the vicinity of it, it resets it on the minimap, so now he knows board is down, blue buff's down, but hey, look at that. The back harpies is up, and I'm going to steal it.
And hey, look at that. They're well aware that the red buff's about to spawn again. Weekend going to take this one away with the team again. On zone duty is Brochacho. Got to blink in. Didn't yawn, though, but the dash comes out from Jellly in response as Thor dunks in with, knocks onto Aggro, but Aggro's fine right now. Gets away for the danger of the turnaround is here. Pressure on with the Zeus ultimate. Aggro picks up one. The pick up took Jellly out of the fight for a minute as Elchapo solos Dwurst on the rotation over, I believe. There's the ultimate coming out from Weekend as well. 3-0 very quickly in Erry Day Carry's favor.
The purification wasn't even used for the Chronos, surprisingly enough. The Chronos
All
ultimate
rewind.
is up as well. So he was caught completely blindsided by that kill. As we do see Erry Day Carry starting the goal Fury, trying to utilize the small advantage that they have.
It was an easy advantage to go for as well. I mean, Thor just used his ultimate in that engagement to get over there. You had Chapo mid keeping the others at bay if they came over for this engagement. And from that three-man fight, sorry, that three-kill pickup at the red buff, they convert that into a gold fury and a blue buff steal as well. This is starting to get out of hand already.
It's really important to utilize these invades into something else potentially, especially when you get kills. It's just free. Things open up for the map. The red buff is open. They stole it the first time. They have the timer for it. They go for it again a second time, get 3 kills. We have another kill for the Medusa onto the Awilix.
And that's a bit of a surprise. I expected that to potentially start swinging the other way, but the advantage developed early on for the Medusa with the Gold Fury pickup and things seems to be just snowballing out of control there.
Normally when you're an assassin in the duo lane against a hunter, you have to wait for your power spike before you play aggressive. So in this situation, it favors the Medusa having the space control. Awilix does a lot of damage, but not enough at this point in time. Tier looking to play aggressive, not going to connect with a Lawbringer.
Pretty sure if he hit that, though, the rewind was going to have to be forced, or at least the purification coming out there from Dwurst to get away from the danger. But for now, we'll see Dwurst survive that laning phase. And where is the power spike for Awilix then against this Hunter that you were talking about?
It's once you get Jotun's Wrath online, once you get Transcendence, you're doing a lot of damage. The Feather Step, cooldown, so it's 8 seconds without Jotun's, and then with Jotun's about 6.2 or something like that, and that's a lot of damage. You can get 2 Feather Steps off, and that's going to be about 30% health remaining just on the Medusa. So you want to wait for those 2 items.
So the power play of Awilix really is like level 2 in lane if you're going to go for the all-aggressive route, or then it's way out for the Jotuns or the Transcendence to really come online and then try and fight. Well, We'll see if that can end up developing, because at the moment it's a bit of a rough situation. Brochacho with the blink, epic uppercut does connect onto Zeus. Sorry, not onto Zeus, onto Nox, but a quick shadow step away will put her into safety. The Zeus still a little bit off the mark, but Jellly under a lot of pressure here, and Zachsy will pick it up with the acid spray. Elchapo comes in here, going to get a good fearless off onto Dwurst, who doesn't use purification, but he's in a bit of a pressure here. He's going to get stunned out as well. He will fall in trade, but it was a 2-for-1.
Didn't have the time necessary to stand switch defensively to get the heal off that he needed. It was a good idea to play aggressive, but his team couldn't play aggressive. They didn't have a mid-wave under the tier 1 tower to play aggressive.
He hit both with a Petrify, but there's just no follow-up. I think he was surprised he got a stun on both, but look at round the back. Uncle Weaken's coming to the rescue. Both low. Dwurst is dead, and a freebie for Weaken. Didn't even need the execute. Brochacho just going to his passive form, but Toasty will not be able to secure that one, as Weaken's still hanging at the back.
Weaken's hanging on the back, something that he's very good at in terms of being opportunistic, looking for these plays whenever they can. They had a pincer, potentially 3 from the front, Weaken from the back. Weaken recognizing that there's nothing going on in the middle. 3rd time in a row, red buff going into the favor of Erry Day Carry.
Still took a lot of poke though, Weaken, but gets away from the danger zone more than not with the illusion. And in the end, the damage turned from Aggro was insane. Look at how low they were on that side. Toasty barely gets out with his life.
They have to be so careful turning around corners. This Zeus shield chain lightning combination is just destroying Eager right now. And if they don't respect that damage, this is how they're going to consistently lose these team fights. They don't have sustain to deal with the Zeus ultimate. There's no meditations out online right now. So they have to be careful with their positioning.
Look at the level difference. Weaken is 4 levels over the Thor in the jungle over Toasty. Meanwhile, mid lane is a 3 level difference there. Hunter as well, there's a 2-level difference on that one. It's just working out nicely for Erry Day Carry now in every role.
And 2nd blue buff in a row steal now for Elchapo. Really well played onto this tier. Utilizing the advantage that he has with Transcendence is not easy the way he's been doing it this game. It's really impressive.
He has given the Wing Blade as well, which is, it's not a bad pickup here. He's given him the health, the mobility, but also that passive will help him out a lot.
It's going to allow him to chase down targets. If he ever gets hit by the Athena slow, if he does get time stopped, he'll get stunned out, but afterwards he will have the increase of movement speed to allow him to chase down the Chronos further.
And obviously with his passive as well, it's only 1 second of CC he's going to get, so straight out of that mobility will still factor in. He clears the tower, takes the tower down. Dwurst unable to defend it at the moment as he continues working his build, which looks like he's heading towards Warlock Sash as his next item for some extra tankiness.
It's very safe to start off Warlock Sash, but it would be a better idea to do it earlier on.
Brochacho going to go in again, and that's an evaporation of Toasty one more time. Brochacho on this Khumbakarna has been insane this game. He's initiated everything. Even though they've not found everything every single time, he's still the one on the forefront forcing these fights.
And it's very annoying when you're a jungler already behind, consistently getting poked out like this. Even if he didn't die, he would have to have back there. There's been several games already today where the junglers are having a tough time struggling, and they're consistently falling behind experience, specifically Omega on the Naja, and now in this game, it's the Thor on Toasty.
A little bit aggressive from Elchapo there in the jungle. He's going to have to watch himself. He was a little bit low, but obviously with the power cleave, he'll be fine. Looks at stealing away the ball, but instead heals off it as the ult comes out there in mid lane by Freakster Dave on Nox. More defensive use than anything else.
He didn't want to get rooted by the Khumbakarna, so really good recognition. There was nobody around to protect the Nox. We do have Chronos using Rewind. Elchapo playing very aggressive, as we do have Erry Day Carry starting the goal here around the 12.5 minute mark. Thor is around the corner.
Toasty knows. And he might be in this guy. He's going to come crashing in, but it's going to force a reset. But now they're both in trouble as Dwurst gets soloed on the right-hand side by Elchapo. Aggro picks up Jellly, and Aggro now in a bit of an awkward position on the Zeus as Brochacho still trying to unleash the Gold Fury. But that means that these teams in a bit of an awkward position. Weaken cleans up one with the illusion. Awilix giving chase for Aggro still, but they're not going to find the kill. Oh, they will just about, but they all still die.
But it doesn't matter that he died, because now it's a 4-for-1, and now it's going to be in Goldfury's favor. Tyr wasn't even in that fight. He doesn't care. He's still pushing the solo lane side of things. Chronos died, it looks like, to solo kill of Tyr, so Elchapo playing lights out.
Look at the confidence in Elchapo as well. He's got teleport up, didn't even turn up to that fight, relying on his team knowing they would be able to do it. Meanwhile, he's going to get a tier 2 towers. The team are looking at stealing away the red buff and successfully doing so again. That's basically Weaken's buff this game.
Look at the Zeus player damage. Twice
insane.
As much as anybody in the game. And Elchapo getting tier 2 tower at 1337.
Let's go to the grass, because you'll see the big spike once again with that goal. It's not even a spike, is it? It's just a constant escalation in the favor of them.
10 almost 11,000 gold for Erry Day Carry at the 14 minute mark. This is not looking good for Eager.
I mean, he's not. I mean, look at Medusa. 305. Look at the build. At this stage of the game, you'd expect it to be a bit of a different situation. I just think he's not backed in a while. I don't know what his gold in hand is right now, but it must be pretty insane. Yeah, 2,500 gold on a Medusa that's like, yeah, you know what, I'll take this wave first of all before going and spending this much money.
Right now, they're just having a blast. They get the gold here, they get the tier 2 tower. 2 players were sitting at 2,500 gold. The tier back to base, finishing off Jotun's Wrath after the Wingblade. So the only defense he has is the health from Wingblade and the movement speed.
Yeah, and now Brochacho on the forefront again in the jungle, looking to just create a nuisance as himself, which he's been doing all game long. He may be looking for a Awilix on this left-hand side now. Awilix just trying to get as much farm as he can for the Transcendence, but Yorn will allow Kuang to close the gap as well, the root as well. Suku is going to need to be used soon, and as soon as he leaps off, expect the team to try and collapse.
As we do have the epic uppercut, Athena comes landing in. No follow-up. However, Nox was in there even as well.
That was a nice ultimate in the end by Brochacho because it just made sure that nobody could follow because he could have turned on that potentially and looked for a pick themselves. Blink from Brochacho again. Going to get it on. No uppercut this time round available though. Just harassing on his own here.
And doing a lot of damages. Medusa. Nox already at half health. Medusa forced to purification.
Wow.
Kuang blinking.
Soul Reaver.
One ability instantly dropping the Nox.
Soul Reaver just procced available for him. They recognized they could do it. Now in the back, Elchapo turns it with the tear, and you can see how in trouble Toasty is on that Thor Lawbringer in place from Chapo. But meanwhile, Petrified connection Zachsy under the tower. All the boys of Ego are just dropping like flies.
And that's 4 kills on the side of Erry Day Carry. Chronos, meanwhile, getting the tier 1 tower in the mid lane, trying to get tier 2, but he's going to be met by Zeus, and the chase is going to be on the Kuang from the bottom hand side.
Yeah, going to cut him off the angle in the jungle. I don't know how much aggro will continue to chase. It looks like he's going to, though. They're trying to pincer move onto Dwurst here, as the rest of their team are taking a tier 2 tower for free again. Dwurst recognizes he's being threatened by 2 people, but how long can he survive? I don't think it's going to be too much.
We'll see here as we do have Weaken using Purification. Worse, in a little bit of trouble. The damage is just too strong. Level 17 Kuang. Soul Reaver wasn't even up there as it just now refreshes the internal cooldown.
Well, Toasty's swinging around the side, trying to defend the tower. Elchapo a little bit overextended, but we talk about overextension. It doesn't matter because Freakster Dave gets annihilated by that Transcendence tier. Brochacho tries to create some peelers. Zachsy continues to poke. Elchapo kept in tower range, however, Phoenix range I should say, and does eventually fall down, but still, more kills the way of Erry Day Carry.
He got a nice clean pick onto the Nox earlier on. The Thor wall dissected his escape path. Now the problem was Elchapo had his ultimate, but he thought that he would just walk away scot-free. Unfortunately, uncalculated a little bit there, pays with his life.
Pays with his life, and now we'll see. Well, is there any real way back in for Eager at this stage of the game?
They still have their Phoenixes, so they're not down and out, but the gold lead is just too much. They're down about 12,000 no, I'm sorry. They're about 13,000 gold down at this stage of the game. This is not easy for them to bounce back in this situation. Experience lead is so high. They have Kuang at level 17, Zeus at level 17. Your Thor's 5 levels behind. Your Nox is 6 levels behind. For Eager to win this game as Eager is you'd have a better chance to win the lottery probably.
So as Erry Day Carry now, I guess you head over to the Fire Giant, bring them in. Don't actually do the Fire Giant, but bait them for one more fight and then look to close out with Phoenixes?
That's what you're going to have to do, and Eager wouldn't even be able to contest the Fire Giant. If they poke their head around the corner, they're going to get 2-shot by Kuang, Soul Reaver.
And not just that, they've still got to deal with Zeus, who's dealt over 11,000 player damage here. Look at the player damage just in general. Erry Day Carry, 4 members, other than the Brochachos, as support, give them the credit there. He's got such amazing damage, they're all top 4.
No love for supports, man. Always on the bottom of the charts. Can we see the wards place for El Brochacho, please?
just see if he's in the top. He's not even there.
Okay.
Jellly
well, he is for his team. That's all that matters.
Yeah. But considering how much gold he's got in this game, how has Jellly placed more wards than him?
Hey, El Brochacho, man, top of his team. Love for El Brochacho.
No, he's not getting no love from me. Not right now. Blink again, though, as he goes in with the epic uppercut, even though he is playing Khumbakarna. Going to yawn straight afterwards, and Suku will
See, look at that. He sets up his team with an epic uppercut, man.
He's the best.
No, he's on Eager, but he's on the PC side of things.
Oh, Toasty's dead again. Not going to be able to escape Elchapo, who was tanking up the front line there with a nice Fearless. Now with that 2-man advantage, we're going to see Erry Day Carry swing to mid lane. They've got a minion wave coming in too, but I'm pretty sure at this stage, they'll be happy to tank this one up if they so chose, but they're going to wait it out a second or two. We've got Blink on Elchapo available. Keep an eye on him going for it. Wow.
He doesn't even care. Oh, he's playing very fancy Lawbringer, blinking in. Dwurst just going to disengage.
That was high because he did that just before the tower shot hit him. close the gap with his Lawbringer first of all, and then Weaken goes and looking for the burst on Jellly, but gets taunted, but still going to pick up the kill purification to get him away from the danger zone. Freakster Dave, well, he's going to die there as well. Surrender vote has begun, 24-4. The Phoenix in mid lane under pressure. Phoenix should fall soon. As you can see, Toasty going on the backside for Zachsy, but I don't think this fight's going to go very well for him as he's very low. Missed the double tap. The in-hands are good though. Petrify's a little bit better. Dot damage coming out from the shots from Zachsy, and Elevate Aggro will pick up the kill for the double.
Elchapo running away from Dwurst. The rewind was used. Elchapo feeling very confident. The damage from the combo is a lot, but he has to do a good job avoiding the time rift.
Ow, that last shot did so much damage. Insane.
The chain swing from Tier's progressive in-hands is a lot. If you get hit by that third hit, you're taking a lot of damage. If that time rift connected,
but he had a crit as well. That was the funny thing. He had crit on top of that. He crit on that as well. It was the last auto attack of that chain with a Transcendence and a Jotuns. Ow.
Elchapo is feeling himself right now.
He feels himself every week.
I don't think I've ever seen a Tier go crit before.
I don't know how much of the console you've seen of Elchapo, right? But this guy does this every single game. Every week. He's so much fun to watch because he's mad. He goes with these crazy builds that work out, and it's like, that's a tank. No, it's not. That's a damage dealer that used to be a tank.
Yep, and he's making it work this game. Level 20 before anybody was. Weaken just now hitting level 20 earlier on. Erry Day Carry starting the Fire Giant 20-minute mark. Nox is poking her head around the corner.
Yeah, but how long is that head going to survive is my real question. Uppercut immediately. Athena is coming in as well, though, for defense. So protections are there, but not enough protection from the Soul Reaver and Zachsy's Acid Spray. In the sky is Toasty, going to look for the dunk, probably onto the three-man grouping, just to disengage his team. Maybe going to deal some damage with Berserker Barrage, but Chain Lightning says goodnight, Toasty, as it bounces off the shield, as Jelly's being looked to be picked by Chapo in the back.
And goodnight, Jellly, as well, as he gets taken to the sky by Weaken. Weaken going to look for the kill with Elchapo. Dwurst going to get slowed, forcing the purification. Comes landing down as Weaken, doing a lot of damage. Not connecting on the second ability, but it doesn't matter.
Meanwhile, the rest of the team now doing the Fire Giant. That will go the way of Erry Day Carry as well. Another deicide in favor of them. And honestly, they're looking very good. Very, very good. Heading towards the Smite Console League as well. Eager versus Erry Day Carry has been the match that everyone will be watching week in, week out, whenever they're scheduled, because it's the most exciting one at the moment in North America.
Now keep in mind, Eager is #1 seed currently in the North American Xbox scene, but they're playing with 3 substitutes, which is a big factor. Maybe 1 substitute, you could still maybe do something in a game, especially if it's solo or hunter, where you just leave them and farm, and then they rotate over eventually in a team fight. But when you're down 3 substitutes, that's a big deal.
Huge deal. Weaken does sell out Toasty as the Phoenix does get dropped. Meanwhile, Brochacho zoning out the team with the uppercut onto Jellly, while Weaken in mid lane is pushing those minions in and allowing Erry Day Carry to look for the end in under 22 minutes. A 4-man Petrify connects. Luckily, though, the Fountain will heal him up enough for them to survive, apart from Dwurst, who will go back for respawning one more time. The Phoenix Titan will fall here unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, and doesn't look like anything crazy is going to happen as the Titan does fall now.
See, that's why you got to be careful as a caster. Sometimes you'll make the mistake of calling it ever so
Hey, look at that elbow charger, got the last hit on the Titan.
Hey, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best. As is Erry Day Carry after game 1. This is the best of 3. Game 2, what do you want to see different out of Eager, I guess is the question.
They have to respect the aggressiveness coming out of Erry Day Carry. The way El Brochacho played the Khumbakarna, the positioning of Weaken to follow up afterwards. The first blood happened with the epic uppercut. Weaken came in to scoop him up. It was just an easy 1-2 combo.
And then straight after that, it kind of snowballed the start of the game all the way through to that point. Where
consistently getting the red buffs, the blue buffs, getting gold furies. Everything just snowballed for Erry Day Carry.
Well, let's